Question 17. Find the indefinite integral of x times the square root of x squared plus 1 dx. Analysing the integrand, we notice that we have a product of two functions in x. We have the x outside times the square root of x squared plus 1. The next thing to notice is that the product term x is a multiple of the derivative of what's inside the surd. If we differentiate what's inside the surd, x squared plus 1, with respect to x, we get 2x. But what we have outside the surd is half of that. It's just x. In other words, that's a very strong clue that the chain rule was used in order for an x to appear outside of the square root after differentiation. That also implies that the primitive function is of this form here. The constant a, and that's what we're trying to find, times x squared plus 1 in brackets to the power of 3 over 2. Now, if we differentiate this function, the power is reduced by 1, so it becomes 1 over 2, or 1/2. And that's where this square root comes from. So I'm going to go with this. By inspection, the primitive is of the form a outside of x squared plus 1 in brackets to the power of 3 over 2, and we want to find the value of a. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to differentiate this function here. So what I'm going to end up with is a multiple of the integrand. So differentiating a outside of x squared plus 1 in brackets to the power of 3 over 2 using the chain rule, we get 3 over 2 times a outside of x squared plus 1 in brackets to the power of half times 2x. So that's the derivative of the outer function multiplied by the derivative of the inner function. Putting that all together, we get the derivative is 3 times a times x times the square root of x squared plus 1. Notice that it looks like the integrand. However, we just want x. We don't want 3 times a times x. So if we equate 3 times a times x with x, that means the value of a must be 1 over 3, since 3 times a third is equal to 1, and that'll cancel out the 3a term. That means the primitive must be 1 over 3 times x squared plus 1 in brackets to the power of 3 over 2. So the integral of x times the square root of x squared plus 1 dx is equal to 1 over 3 times x squared plus 1 in brackets to the power of 3 over 2 plus the constant of integration c.